2 years later, Sera published her first novel, a story about forbidden love that critics called achingly beautiful and devastatingly honest. At her book launch, Adrian stood in the crowd, watching her read the dedication page aloud. For Adrian, you taught me that some rules are worth breaking, some loves are worth fighting for, and some stories are worth telling. Thank you for being brave enough to fall with me. Their eyes met across the room, and he smiled, that rare, genuine smile that she loved so much. After the reading, after the applause and the congratulations, they walked home through the city streets hand in hand. I'm proud of you, Adrian said, pulling her close. Your book is extraordinary. It's our story, Sera replied. How could it be anything else? Our story had a happy ending. It's not an ending. She looked up at him, the streetlights casting a golden glow on her face. It's just the beginning. He kissed her there on the sidewalk, with people walking past and the city alive around them, no longer caring who saw or what anyone thought. They'd fought too hard for this love to hide it anymore. 2 years later, the wedding was small, intimate, just close friends and family in a garden overlooking the water. Sera wore a simple white dress that made Adrian's breath catch. He wore a dark suit and couldn't stop smiling. When it was time for vows, Adrian took her hands. Serafina, you walked into my life when I least expected it and changed everything. You made me believe in love I thought was impossible. You fought for us when I was too afraid to fight for myself. And every day since, you've made me want to be better, braver, worthy of the gift of loving you. His voice cracked slightly. I promise to spend the rest of my life showing you that choosing me was the right decision. That our love was worth every risk, every sacrifice, every moment of doubt. You are my greatest adventure, my deepest love, my home. Sera was crying, but smiling through the tears. Adrian, you taught me what it means to be truly seen. To be challenged and cherished in equal measure. You showed me that the best love stories aren't the easy ones, they're the ones you fight for, the ones that test you, the ones that make you brave. She squeezed his hands. 3 years ago, I walked into your classroom and saw something in you that you tried so hard to hide. And I'm so grateful that I was brave enough to push past your walls, and you were brave enough to let me in. I promise to keep pushing you, challenging you, loving you with everything I have. Our story started as forbidden, but it ends as forever. The officiant pronounced them husband and wife, and when Adrian kissed her, everyone cheered. They honeymooned in Italy, 2 weeks of wine and sunshine and making love in a villa overlooking the Tuscan hills. Do you ever regret it? Sera asked one evening as they watched the sunset, her head on his shoulder. Everything we went through. Adrian was quiet for a moment. I regret the pain we caused others. I regret that we had to hide. I regret that you had to transfer schools. He tilted her chin up to look at him. But I don't regret falling in love with you. Not for a single second. Good. She kissed him softly. Because I don't regret it either. Not even when it was hard. Especially not then. Those moments showed me what we're capable of. How strong our love is. He held her tighter. I love you, Mrs. Blackwood. She smiled at the name. I love you too, Professor. I'm not your professor anymore. No. Her eyes sparkled with that familiar mischief. But you'll always be my favorite one. He laughed and kissed her as the sun set over the Italian countryside, two people who'd proven that some loves are worth every risk, every consequence, every moment of uncertainty. 3 years after the wedding, Sera sat in the nursery of their new house, rocking their daughter to sleep. Emma had Adrian's dark hair and Sera's eyes, and she was the most beautiful thing either of them had ever seen. Adrian stood in the doorway, watching his wife and daughter, overwhelmed by the life they'd built. She's asleep, Sera whispered, carefully placing Emma in her crib. They tiptoed out, closing the door softly behind them. In their bedroom, Adrian pulled Sera close. Do you remember when I told you that you'd ruined me for anyone else? He murmured against her hair. In your office. When we were still pretending we could resist each other. I meant it then. I mean it even more now. He pulled back to look at her. You didn't just ruin me. You remade me into someone better. Someone worthy of this life. You were always worthy. Sera cupped his face. You just needed someone brave enough to see past the walls. And mischievous enough to tear them down. She laughed. That too. They stood there in the quiet of their home, their daughter sleeping down the hall, the life they'd fought so hard for surrounding them. It was worth it, Adrian said quietly. Every risk, every consequence, every moment we thought we might not make it. It was worth it, Sera agreed. Because we got this. We got forever. He kissed her then, soft and deep and full of the promise they'd made to each other all those years ago in a library archive when they first gave into the attraction that would change both their lives. Some love stories start with perfection. Theirs started with risk. But both kinds can lead to forever, if you're brave enough to fight for it.